Hey guys, I'm Ken from OK Portugal, and today I'm with Dinis from CL Real Estate.
Hello everybody, I'm with Ken today to film this amazing property and I hope you enjoy it.
It's ready to move in and it's right in the heart of central Portugal. Set on approximately 1.3 hectares of land, that's just over 3.2 acres. This fully fenced quinta is full of charm and practical features. You'll find vineyards, olive groves, fruit trees and a mixture of pine and oak trees spread right across the land. The 105 square meter main house comes fully furnished and it's ready to move right into. And there's also a spacious 97 square meter garage, 2 wells, 2 water tanks and multiple water access points right throughout the property. Fonte Nova Farm sits just outside the picturesque stone village of Mesquitela in central Portugal's Guarda district. It's a peaceful rural setting, yet only 10 to 15 minutes from the towns of Farmhouse and Celorico de Beira, where you'll find supermarkets, cafes, restaurants, train stations, and of course all of your daily essentials. When the summer rolls in, the beautiful river beach at Ponta de Juncais is just a 5-minute drive away, which is perfect for cooling off in those hot summer months. For wider amenities, the town of Gouveia is about 20 minutes away, and the district capital of Guarda is only 30 minutes away by car, both offering schools, healthcare, shopping, and excellent transport connections right across Portugal. If you're traveling internationally, Porto Airport is around 2 hours away, Lisbon Airport is around 3 hours, and Faro down south in the Algarve can be reached in around 5 hours. Now let's jump into one of my full walking tours and explore everything that Fonte Nova Farm has to offer. So from the tarred road, there's only about 25 meters of gravel track that leads to the farm. And if you just walk a little bit down this tarred road over here, you get to Mesquitela. Now Mesquitela has a lot of expats. There's a lot of expats around the area. There are people who speak English around the area. There's also a nice little cafe where you can go, you can have coffee, you can have a glass of wine or a beer or something like that. So the access is great for any car. We've got Quinta de Fonte Nova, which is nicely painted. It's connected to electricity, so we have mains electricity on the property. We have water that comes from a well with a filter, and then we have soak-away septic tank. So we've got some off-grid utilities on the property. We've got these nice big metal gates that obviously shut and secure the property. These can actually be transformed quite easily into electric gates, and I'll show you that in a moment. If we go around the corner here, we can see we've got a tap. We also have another tap just on the other side there. There's lots of water, lots of taps running right through the property. But we also have electric. So this is a box here with electrics, and this is actually a plug socket, so you can bring electrical stuff down here. Or you can connect an electrically opening gate system. And that's pretty handy, and that's probably something that I'll do quite quickly after moving here. But a very nice entrance, huh? Really, really cool. This is another water point just on the other side of the opening gate. Once you go through the gates, you go down this little track, and the house is just on the corner over here. And in the background, we've got beautiful views of the Serra da Estrela Mountains. And before we get to the house, I just want to show you some of the views as you're driving up the track. We've got these beautiful mature oak trees on the side here. We also have lots of granite stones. I absolutely love big mounds of granite stones. It really does make me feel like I'm up in the mountains. And we have a lovely big mound of stones over there, some more oak trees, and then we can start to get a glimpse of some of the buildings and the house. Now we're going to get to that in a bit, but first of all I just want to show you what they've planted here. So these are a special type of pine that you get pine nuts from, and pine nuts are very valuable. I'm sure you've seen them in the supermarket. They cost an absolute fortune. Now Dinis has planted this entire field with these pine nut trees, and in a couple of years' time, these are obviously going to be producing the nuts, and they're going to be quite valuable. They're also going to make some really nice shade over here. They're quite a decorative looking pine. We're just reaching the end of spring, and we still have a lot of really beautiful wild flowers all over the fields. And Dinis is actually going to be cutting the grass. He's going to come through here in the next week and obviously cut this all back for the summertime. But for now, this just shows you exactly how pretty this place is, especially in the spring. So before we reach the house and the buildings, I want to take you on a little bit of a walk through the front section here of the farm. So as I said earlier, there are water access points all over the farm. This is one of them over here. Now this one doesn't have a tap on, but obviously you could terminate this with a tap just on the end here, and you can use that for irrigating all around here. Perhaps you don't want to have pines here, perhaps you want to clear a spot for vegetables, or you want to grow a garden, or you want to do something, fruit trees. You've got a point here. There's another point just behind there. There's other points that are basically stretching all over, so we've got them all over the place. The previous owners of this property obviously had this really well set up for irrigation. This is a fence line over here. We can see we've got quite a nice fence. It's in metal, so you don't have any wooden posts to rot or anything like that. The fencing covers most of the property. There are some stone walled sections that we'll get to in a bit. But I just want to show you what the views look like from here. So house in the background, completely private, not overlooked. We don't have big pylons or anything like that. It's just a really pretty farm and feels quite private. And as we can see on the neighboring land here, we just have nice big open meadows. I did see some sheep here earlier. There are sheep farmers in the area, there are olive farmers in the area, but as far as neighbors and other houses are concerned, you actually can't see any houses around you that belong to anyone else. Nice and private. Here's another one of these numerous water points. Obviously you undo this, you can screw a tap in here, and you've got access to water on this section of the farm. So we're going to walk down a little bit further. We're going past all of these pine trees. Now, not all pine trees give you nuts, so these are quite valuable. I'm sure if you see in the supermarkets, just have a look at what a tiny little bag of pine nuts costs. And imagine these things are going to be full of pine cones. You're going to be able to get lots and lots of pine nuts. I love them in a salad. So we've walked from the entrance there, we've walked around this way, and we're kind of standing in the middle of the pine nut forest. And we're going to head on now to the house. And before we get there, just look at these amazing little flowers. I mean, this almost looks like some kind of an orchid. And we've just got a lot of variety of these wildflowers. I actually get all of the same types of flowers on my farm. So it's really nice to see them replicated here, up on the northern side of the Serra da Estrela mountain. I can see we also have lupins here, which are really good for putting nitrogen in the soil and making the soil nice and healthy. So this property is 1.3 hectares. It's quite a lot of space. I have a 3.5 hectare farm. We grow tons and tons of grass there for our neighbors' sheep. And speaking of which, a place like this, you're going to have neighbors that have got lots of sheep. So maybe you can work out some kind of a deal with your neighbors that they can come in here with the sheep a couple of times a week, keep the grass down for you. Alternatively, you can grow your own grass, bale it up as hay bales, and you can sell those hay bales. Or you can grow tons of veggies, fruit trees and things like that. There's lots and lots of possibility. So here we get another good look at the house, and we're going to do the house next. I love the way that we can see the water from the water tank on the side here. That's reflecting up on the wall. So from the front gates, we have this long track that basically runs past all of the pine nuts on this side and down to the house. This track takes you to the garages and also continues around the house, looping around this part of the field here, and then joins back with the track and the front gates. So very easy access, easy to get your cars in here. You can get really big cars in here. Those front gates are big enough to get big diggers and things like that through. And the garages are also huge. So let's look at the house from the outside. We have a nice A-frame roof, a little balcony on the front, big shutter windows. This is a big water tank. Now on the roof, it's obviously a large water catchment area. We have brand new gutters, aluminium gutters that lead into this beautiful water tank. Now Dinis has renovated this tank and he's painted it up with very expensive waterproof paint, and as you can see, this could be a very nice place to cool off in those hot summer months. I've built one of these on my farm, and in summer it is absolutely awesome to sit in here with an ice cold beer. And to the front of the house we have a nice big open field section here. So we've got the track, the pine nuts, and then this big field section. Dinis was saying that he would probably plant a whole bunch of olive trees here. I would look at planting this up as a lawn, so right in front of your house you can have a beautiful lawned area. We've got tons of water on the property, tons of water points for irrigation, and just imagine having a big sprawling lawn there, putting gazebo, garden furniture and stuff like that. Look up here, we got the Estrela Mountains, incredible views looking right around, completely private. And then let me just go back a little bit here and show you what the front of the house looks like. So we've got this little porch on this side, we've got a big space over here for storing things, storing garden furniture or tools. Again, this is the water point. This comes from one of the wells, goes through a water filtration, and then this supplies the house. And obviously you could put on a much fancier water filter if you wanted. Dinis has also said that he's paid for the borehole permit. So basically a company just has to come here and dig the borehole for you. He knows different companies, he's got connections who can do that for you if you want to use borehole water instead of the well water for the house. Let's talk about orientation. The front of the house is pointing west. So in the evening this is what's going to be getting sun. This left hand side of the house is pointing north. The other side of the house is obviously pointing south, and the back of the house is pointing east. So the back of the house is going to get morning sun, it's going to go over the roof, and in the evening you're going to get sun coming on that side of the building. On the side here, he's planted a little herb garden. So we've got a whole bunch of like little herbs that are growing up in there. We can catch a glimpse of the balcony on the other side that we'll go to in a bit. We can see there's a satellite dish, there's also a floodlight and a little chimney. So let's do this tour. We go up a little welcome mat and some marble stairs, and it's actually quite a wide balcony. There's enough space for you to put like a little bench or something out here, and from up here you can look out over these incredible views. And again, very, very, very private views. No one looking in on you. When fixing this place up, Dinis has added little touches like these patio lights so that you have some light out here when you come out at night time. To enter, we go through this insulated aluminium front door and into a nice light, airy space. Let me close the door behind me here, and I'm going to take you straight through before we start looking into the house, because I want to show you one of my favorite pieces is this incredible view. Look at this. That is so nice. Again, the Estrella Mountains, we can see down onto some of the buildings here, the outdoor kitchen, storage areas, and we can start to get a peek of the vineyards, the fruit trees. And let me just go into this corner here and just show you, there's actually a bit of space on this balcony, so you could actually move like this bench out here, you could have a little table and chairs out here. Again, we have some lights on the outside, we have gutters that go through the property. There's also security cameras that they've put up here. So there's a security camera on this corner and on the other corner, and then we can also get a little view showing downstairs into some of the buildings. Now what we're going to look at upstairs here is how the house is currently configured. There is more potential for you to build more rooms downstairs, and we'll get to that in a moment. So again, we've got shutters on the doors and the windows that help insulate it, and if we look in here we can catch a glimpse of what it looks like. We've got the sofa over here, the front door in the background, a nice little dining area here for 4 people. We can see the kitchen, and if I go around the corner, we've got a really nice big granite open fireplace. And Dinis has put some little pictures on the wall of, this one here is the floor plan for the garage, which is quite cool. Then he's done another one that is the floor plans of the house itself, and another one that is the topographical map showing the actual land and the layout of the land. This is a living space that you can move straight into, and incredible views out the windows, lots of light. You know, it's been set up like this. Obviously there's lots of scope for changing the setup. You don't have to have dining over here, you could have it outside, you could have more sofas in here. Let's go through to one of the bedrooms, because there's 2 bedrooms, and we can see here we've got a double bed. Quite a nice looking room. Obviously the bedrooms are a little bit on the small side, but to be honest, when you've got a property like this, you're going to be spending most of your time outside, working on your quinta, working in the vineyard, looking at these incredible views, or sitting on one of your balconies. If we turn back in this direction, we've got the built-in cupboards, and just at the top here we have a connection point for a television, so you could connect up a TV on one of those little swing arms. And again, I don't think you're going to be watching TV in here. You're going to be, you know, either watching in the living room, or you're going to be busy tending to your very own quinta. Let's close this up. And then if we walk through this passageway, we get another look at the living room area. I think next we're going to go and have a look at the kitchen. And it's quite a cool kitchen. So we've got the fridge on this side. Again, everything comes with the property. I think there's even some beers in here. And so fridge, freezer, and then we've got lots of plugs that appear all over the place. A nice worktop over here, the all-important wine, and then we have, you know, cupboards. We've got some plates in here, we've got cutlery, we've got crockery. On this side we've got the cooker, so we've got an electric cooker, a gas hob, and then we have a stainless steel extractor fan up on the top. And then looking on this side we have some quite nice looking kitchen cabinets. We've got cutlery in the drawers, we've got everything you need. We even have dishcloths. I mean, all you really need to do is come here with a toothbrush and a bag of clothing. Double sinks, so you can rinse off. Nice big windows that again lead out onto these really nice private views. These windows are thermal glass, they're double glazed, they Klimat glass, so they're going to help to insulate the place nicely, especially with those shutters. And let me just stand in this corner of the kitchen and spin you around so you can see into the rest of the house. The house is very cozy. It's got some more space around the corner here, so we have another bedroom, we have the bathroom, but there are also options downstairs that can expand all of this living area. Let's go through and see the rest. On the left we have the bathroom, and in the space we've got the bidet, we have a toilet, we have a square cubicle shower, and then we have the storage and the sink on this side here, and a nice little light above the mirror. So very functional, clean and tidy and ready to go. And on this side we have another bedroom. So this again is also, it's quite a small bedroom, but it is functional. As you can see, there's a very large bunk bed in here. I like the accent wood that they've put on the wall. We've got plug sockets there, a nice little side table. This could be the perfect little guest room for when you have visitors, or if you have, you know, children or grandchildren or something like that. And if we spin around to this side over here, we've got some more cupboards. Let's have a look in here. Lots and lots of cupboard space. Very nice. And then of course I have to show you the views from the window. This looks out over that front balcony section, and again with double glazing. So now we've seen the main house upstairs. There's still downstairs. Let's have a look. This is what the house looks like from the back. Really cool, huh? Look at the balcony. We've also got some more rooms to the back. We've got this over here, which is the septic tank. This is a soak-away septic tank, so it doesn't need emptying out, but there is an access hatch should you need it. We've got the garage buildings here with a giant fig tree, and let's go and have a look at the downstairs of the house. Now, a property like this back in the days, 1.3 hectares, it was full of vines and grapes, and so what they had down here was a way that they could make wine and store wine. So if we go into this building, through this metal door, we've got a giant tank. Amazing, huh? So this is the drain of the tank, so the tank can drain out. And then this giant tank over here would have been what they made wine in. So back in the days, they would come and put all the grapes in here. They would stamp on the grapes and squash the grapes. But they actually also have this. Look at this. This is a wine press. This is quite a valuable thing. This is worth a lot of money. You put the grapes inside, and then you put this on top, and it squishes the grapes down. So you turn that handle, squishes all the grapes, gets all of the juice out, and imagine how many grapes they used to grow to fill this whole vat up. You can actually see the lines on the side from how far the grape juice came up. Pretty amazing, huh? Just to the side here, this is the gas bottle and the connection hose to take you upstairs into the kitchen for the gas hob. And on this corner over here, we have a tumble dryer and a washer. So quite a nice functional space. We've got plug sockets on the wall, so it's all ready to go. These all work. They're obviously all included with the property. We've got this over here, which is a connection hose. This is actually a water pipe, and then we have a drainage pipe. So this will be where you plug in the washing machine. And we also have an electrical socket and a light switch. Now obviously a room like this doesn't have to be kept like this. This tank could be knocked out. This could become another livable space in the house. There's potential for you to make a hole in the ceiling and put a spiral staircase going down, or perhaps this could just be a room that's accessed from outside. You could put a much bigger door in here with glass and get lots of light. I mean, as you can see in here, we've actually got a lot of light in here. It's a very nice space. It's all part of the urban footprint of this house, which means that this could become another livable space very easily. And there's another one right next door. Now, CL Real Estate, when they get properties, they pretty much do absolutely everything to them. So all of the paperwork's ready, everything's ready to go. They've done all the hard work for you. And that doesn't mean that there aren't more options that you can do with this property. Look at this. So these are the big vats. These are big concrete vats that they would mature the wine in. So after they've fermented the wine, they will go in here and they will sit and they will like mature. And you can imagine just how much wine they made from the size of these vats. This is an old table here that they would sit and, you know, play cards or whatever. We've got the water heater that feeds the bathroom upstairs, electrical sockets. We also have plumbing, so we have water taps and things like that. These big old metal doors. As you can see, these doors open much wider, so you can get bigger things through here. More electrical sockets, the main circuit board of the house, and a little drain on the floor. And then again, this room could be changed into something more usable. You could take out all these concrete tanks, giving you a lot more floor space. You've got these really big opening doors over here that would bring in a lot of light if you put a glass door in there. And another thing worth pointing out is that there is single phase electric on the property. There's also a tri-phase or three-phase. This is another one of the three-phase sockets. And three-phase is very useful for when you're running big tools and equipment and machinery. Now, as we walk out the door, we've got some buildings over here. This one was actually built to accommodate the owner's American-style Ford F-150 truck. So it's really big. It's like a big garage that you'd fit one of those huge American trucks. We've got our tiny little German hatchback. So you can see just how big this space is. And it goes around the corner a little bit here, so there's extra storage. This could be finished off to however you want. There's a very strong reinforced ceiling in here, as you can see, with the concrete and the beams and everything. So potentially, I was just saying to Dinis, imagine you build a little staircase up here, put some railings on it, and you've got yourself a roof terrace. Could be pretty cool. And then on this side over here, we've got a little outdoor kitchen area. And before we get there, I just want to point out it's right next to this little pool area. So imagine you've got the pool area and then the outdoor kitchen over here. And this is going to be a perfect area for cooking. Maybe you can put a little table down here. Maybe you can put some wooden beams across and some shade netting and stuff, giving you some lovely shade. This would get the evening or the afternoon evening sun. So a nice sunny area. He's put in a sink, he's put in a tap, and they've also built this little barbecue area so you can cook your braai meats or sardines or something like that. So all in all, pretty cool. And then let's just look back at the house from this area. So with the little dipping pool just there, and then the entrance to the property. So we're starting to see a lot of potential, a lot of possibilities here. Now we have another room just next to the barbecue. The door over here, we've got some windows on this side. And I think that this could make a really nice little office space. An office space that's away from the house, and you could set up as they have here. There's a desk next to the window. He's got some electrical sockets already stuck in there. Imagine you can put in some nice big windows in here, maybe a door, a big glass door, get lots and lots of light in here. And your view while you're sitting at your desk doing your work is that. And we can see by the size of the double bunks here just how big the room is. It's a nice space, nice tall ceilings, and I think this could be renovated into something really, really cool as extra storage or extra room, extra living space. All right, and that's not it. There's more. Follow me. Just around the corner here is a big garage. This is actually a big garage workshop, so you could also park cars and valuables and stuff in here. We can see we've got this door on this side, but this garage also opens up like this. And as you can see, that's going to let in lots of light, but also give you a really nice workshop. How's the space, huh? Fluorescent lights on the ceiling. We're all plumbed in with electrics. We've got a really nice worktop space here. He's built it in such a way so that you've got storage at the bottom. Again, everything that you see here comes with the property. These were tools that they used while they were renovating and fixing it up. All comes with the property. On this side over here, he's left a space here so that you can put your compressor, you can put your welder and all of that stuff. And you can obviously have all of your tools set up along the wall here for all your off-grid farming projects and things like that. But actually saying off-grid, we aren't off-grid, we do have grid. And here is another three-phase socket here, ready for things like compressors and welders. And then we've got this, lots of power sockets all over the place that they've added. So they've done a really nice job in setting this up for someone that wants to get involved in a whole bunch of different projects on their farm. There's also a little window over here that you can open up, get a nice little breeze blowing through. All these little touches just show you how Dinis goes out of his way to accommodate you when selling you a property. He tries to think of a whole bunch of different things that are going to make it easier for you to move straight in and start your new life. So these buildings are pretty cool. Storage for the car, outdoor kitchen area, office space, and obviously this nice big workshop. And let's not forget the little plunge pool or the extra spaces downstairs that can be converted. So really nice so far, huh? Now let's get on to the rest of the land, because there's still a lot to cover. This is a tank over here, or an outdoor sort of tank that you can use for washing up. We've got some vines that are growing along the wall here, and obviously we have a lot of vines that are growing in the main vineyard that we'll get to in a moment. But let me show you this well. So this is the main well that is basically supplying the house. Importantly, it's been capped, it's been covered, so nothing can fall in there. Nothing can fall in and mess around with the water. And this is the hatch, so that you can have a look inside. Let me lift this up. So it's a very big well, it's a very deep well, concrete rings, goes down 6 meters, and it's absolutely full of water. Next to the well is the pump house. If we open this up, you can see we've got a big pump, a very powerful pump. This is connected to a pressure balloon. What this does is it stores the water under pressure, so that when you open up your taps in the house, you get immediate water pressure. We've got some electrics here that Dinis has put in, and we've got one for the pump. We've got another one over here for anything else, if you wanted to add a UV sterilizer or something like that. All nicely done. Over here we've got a selector valve. So these regular pipes send the water through the house. This, if you turn this, it sends the water also to all of those irrigation points that I was talking about earlier. So by the front gate, all of those different taps that are spread out through the fields here. And there's actually more of them that go through here. We've got another one on this side. We've got them all over the property. So you can send the water all over this entire place. There's numerous fig trees throughout the property. So just in front of this pump house here, we've got a giant fig tree, and it gives some beautiful shade. And in terms of fruit trees, we have lemon trees, we have tangerine, we have apple, we have pear, we have plum. We obviously have the grapevines. I believe this one over here is going to be some of the pears. And let's just have a look. I can see some of the pears growing here. And we got some more pears and another really nice fig tree. And then just to the left over here, so let me spin you around and just show you a bit better. This is the back of these garage buildings over here, and obviously the house. And then we've got these trellised vines that run down this section of the farm. So imagine back in the day when they had 1.3 hectares of grapes. They were obviously doing a lot of grapes here. And now they've scaled it back a little bit, so there's a lot less grapes, but definitely enough for you to make your own wine, which would be really amazing. And we can start to get a glimpse of the rest of the property and how it extends down the land here. And then again to these mountains. Look at that. So I think we're going to walk in this direction, because I wanted to point out that this could be an amazing place to grow veggies. We've got the pump house just over here. We've obviously got the water from the pump here. And we've got this lovely square here. The way that the land faces, that's south, north, west and east. So you're going to have sun going across this section the whole day long. Really good for growing veggies. We've got some very nice healthy looking soil over here. And in this corner, just behind these trees over here, we've got another tap. I mean, there's lots of different places where you could grow veggies, but I think this would be a good place, close to the house, but away. It's not directly in the view. Veggies don't always look that great. Sometimes of the year they look a little bit messy, but yeah, a really nice spot. Here's another view of the rows of vineyards, and you can see they stretch all the way along, and they've been nicely trellised all along these. And this is a very nice manageable size of vineyard. You wouldn't really want to have something too big unless you're a proper wine producer, because there is some maintenance that's involved. You do have to prune them and stuff, but this is a very manageable size, and I think you're going to get some really nice wine off these. Again, we've got a big fig tree. We have a bit of an area here that basically steps down, so there is a path that you can get down into the bottom field through here. I think we're going to go in this direction, and we're going to go around. And we can see over here we've got a big old water tank. This is one of those old original water tanks, the one where you've got that sort of slope bit over here, and what would happen is the ladies would come out, they'd get the laundry, they would soak it in this tub. This tub is connected to the main well here. It's all plumbed in, and so you can fill it up whenever you want. And then basically they would scrub the sheets, and they'd scrub all the laundry on this thing over here, and this would be where they'd do all of the laundry. This tree over here is another, I think this could be an apple or a pear. And these two trees over here, these are called marmelo. They almost look like apples, but they're kind of fuzzy and they make marmalade. So as I said earlier, there are 2 wells and 2 water tanks. Lots and lots of water on the property. This tank is 3,300 litres. The one that's up next to the house, that is 9,800 litres, so almost 10,000 litres. And that's one that could be quite good to dip in on those hot summer days. This is the second well. It's made out of granite stone, and it's also a nice deep well. As we can see, it's almost like a natural pond. Dinis has secured it by putting a fence on the outside so that no animals or children or anything like that can fall in. But it's nice to have this. I mean, this is another well that you could use potentially down on this section of the land. You can irrigate some stuff down here if you wanted to grow crops, fruit trees. We do actually have some fruit trees growing dispersed through the field. So quite a cool property so far, hey? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. This next space that we're going to be walking into, that I'll show up on a map, this is the last bit of area here that is like a big sort of open space where you could grow things. We obviously do still have the remnants of trees. We've got some cherry trees like this big one over here. We've got another fig tree over here. And in front of me over here we have 2 hazelnut trees, and these are starting to grow up quite nicely. And if I carry on walking a little bit further in this direction, we reach the bottom gate. And we can see this gate hasn't been used in a long time, but potentially you could actually access the back of the property. There's a little old dirt track that goes around here. Earlier on I saw a shepherd with some sheep coming along here, and potentially this is something that you could open up and you could use to get, you know, a tractor into this bottom field here if you wanted to do some tilling or something like that. But yeah, it's a nice usable space. And I said earlier, you know, Dinis is going to come here. He's going to cut all the grass just before the summer so that it's nice and clean and clear. And it's a really beautiful property. Look at this. This is quite a cool spot to just sit and take it all in. This is actually the tallest part of the Serra da Estrela, the tallest mountain in mainland Portugal. Up here they've got a ski resort and everything, and in the winter you can actually see snow up on the tops of the mountains there, but you won't get snow down here, so don't worry about that. This place has got a really cool feel about it. You know, the house is really comfortable and ready to go, with lots of expansion potential, and the land obviously has loads of potential. You can just come in here and keep it exactly as it is, you know, grow wildflowers in the spring, cut it back in the summer, and concentrate on growing things like grapes that you can make your own wine with, and possibly picking some fruit off the trees. But then again, you can also grow your own vegetables. You can grow pretty much anything you want here. You could even keep some animals, get your own sheep or goats or little things like that. Definitely chickens. A place like this definitely needs some chickens. Another thing worth pointing out is this little field to the north of the property here. There are a bunch of olive trees. These are obviously quite young olive trees now. They're about 2 years old. They will start fruiting in about 5 years. So after about 5 years they start fruiting. So you've got about 3 years left until you can start picking your first olives. There's a whole bunch of them scattered along here. And if you were to get some irrigation on them, they'll grow even quicker. I've really enjoyed this tour. It's been amazing walking around Quinta de Fonte Nova in this beautiful part of central Portugal. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people interested in buying this. So if you are, have a look in the video description below. I'm going to put Dinis from CL Real Estate's contact details. Give him a shout. I'm sure he would love to show you around this place. Let us know in the comments below what you think of this place. Drop us a like on YouTube. Also, subscribe to our channel if you're interested in seeing more content like this. And we'll see you in the next one. All the best. Ciao.